Hi, cousins, and welcome to the Sunday Reset podcast. I'm your host, Alicia J., and I'm so glad that you came to spend a few minutes of time to be with me today. I see you're growing and you're glowing, and I love this look on you, but when was the last time that you made progress on your goal? You know the one I'm talking about. And this week's episode is Stop Delaying Your Future, 4 ways to stop procrastinating. So obviously we're going to talk about those 4 ways, but we're also going to just talk freely about why we may procrastinate also. And our weekly scripture is coming from Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 4. And it says, "Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap." And so what does this verse mean to you, or what should it mean towards procrastination? To me, honestly, this verse really speaks volumes. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. If you're constantly looking around, observing external factors, you're not really tuned in and locked in and focused on what your goal actually is and the steps that you need to take and you need to do to complete them. It's much easier to sit and think about how you could get there. It takes a little bit more diligence, a little bit more dedication, a little bit more proactive behavior to actually take the steps needed to get to your goal. And the second part of that scripture says, "Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap." And so ultimately, I really do believe that this scripture outlines the importance of not waiting for perfect conditions and not letting your fear overtake you moving past step 1. And so if you don't take step 1, then you'll never be able to reap the benefits that your goals would have provided to you. And it is easier said than done, right? That's why you clicked on this video, so I can provide you with the 4 ways to stop your procrastination habits. And I am going to provide that to you. Let's talk about why I created this video. I just want to briefly shout out my followers that I have on Instagram. I had posted an Ask Alicia J, and the 2 top questions that I received was about procrastination, how to stop procrastinating. And the second most question asked was about resentment, like how do you forgive someone and move past that resentment, so on and so forth. And so I thought that that was really befitting because I could combine those 2 into one. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But before I do that, let's talk about what procrastination means. Like, what does it mean to procrastinate? And I mean outside of the obvious. So pro in Latin is a prefix, and it means in favor of or for. It normally can also support the idea of something. And then the word crastinate is derived from the Latin word crastinus, which means belonging to tomorrow or of tomorrow. And so when you think about what that word means in its very basic, raw, naked meaning and essence, you're basically telling yourself that you don't need your goal today. You are happy and you are voting to receive that goal tomorrow. I don't know about you, but I know that tomorrow is not promised to you. So what better day to get started than today? And it's right about that time where I do tell you, thank you so much for tuning into the Sunday Reset podcast. Really do appreciate everyone for following. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below because it really does help the algorithm get this video out to more people like you. I put it on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. The reminder, which is the dream that you're looking for, is in the work that you are avoiding. Like I mentioned before, to procrastinate means that you're in favor of moving it to tomorrow. You're in favor of reaching your goals tomorrow. If you're okay with that, then these steps won't help you that I give you. You have to change your mindset because you don't have to be the person to delay your path. A lot of times there's a saying that people like to use, delayed but not denied. And while that does suggest that something may be postponed or it may take you longer to achieve that goal, it's not ultimately preventing you from rejection. I do like this saying. I do like this phrase, but you should not be the person or the obstacle to delaying your own success. So let me give you the 4 ways that you can stop your procrastination habits. Number 1 is to address your emotions. 9 times out of 10, if you are procrastinating, it's because you have some negative emotions regarding that task. Like, oh, I don't want to record this video. Let's use this as an example because it's real life. I sometimes procrastinate from recording these videos because it takes a while to put together, and also I'm a perfectionist. I want everything to be perfect. My opinions, my thoughts, my voice, the video that's on the screen, I want it to be perfect because I want it to be the best representation of myself and authentically me. So sometimes I may procrastinate and put the task off, but it's due to those emotions. But number 2 requires me to self-reflect. Why do I feel this way? And when I think about the why do I need to be perfect, it really does humble me and reminds myself like no one's perfect. And so you can continue to record these videos and edit them without worrying about putting that barrier up in front of myself. Step number 3 is to remind yourself of the impact of your goal. For me, these videos are very important because I want to be a sounding board for people to start thinking about the way they feel, the way that they take care of themselves, the ideologies that they can grow and develop as they grow and mature as a young adult or moving on into their adulthood. Ultimately, I want to be that big cousin that, you go to for advice and you get sound, solid advice from. And I feel like I'm doing that every single Sunday, and I'm so happy that I can do that. And I have that opportunity to be able to reach the people that I do. And you just have to remind yourself, again, step number 3 is to remind yourself of that impact. If I don't do this task, I'll never be able to reach the millions of people that I want to be able to reach, touch, talk to. And that's important to me. So I have to be consistent with that every single week. And number 4 is set a timer. You can set a timer for 10 or 15 minutes. Give that time to yourself to focus and start on that task. What this is going to do is build up that motivation and momentum in order for you to want to complete that task in its entirety. Because why not? You're already there. So I can do that with my video editing. I'll give myself 15-20 minutes to actually work on completing, a part of my video during that time. And more often than not, I'll actually go through with completing it in its entirety because I'm already there. What you'll find is that procrastination is literally such a poison in our own mindsets that it bleeds into the healthiness of our own relationships, work partnerships, and so on and so forth. And I would love to talk about how procrastination builds up into resentment and further self-sabotages you down the line in another episode. Didn't have enough time in this one because we are coming to a close. But let me know down below if you would like to see that, or let me know what other topics you would like to see. And I will definitely come with a new episode with that next week. But of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I do love this look on you, cousins. You are growing and glowing always. And I'll see you next week. Bye.